Hello, Rodrigo. How are you? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, hello.
Hi, teacher. Good evening.
Hello, Rodrigo. Good evening. How are you? Everything okay?
Yes, teacher. It's okay.
Awesome. Okay, I was getting worried you wouldn't show up. But let's see. Let's go over the article that we are going to read today. And let's do something fun. Let's talk about Bob Marley. I'm pretty sure you know who Bob Marley is, right?
Yes.
Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, so Bob Marley's Exodus, an album that defined the 20th century. Okay, yeah, I have that album, of course. So this is the very famous image of Bob Marley, I guess, one of the most popular. And then we have the article by Arwa Hader, and it says it's just new, 16th February 2022. Bob Marley's album Exodus was released 45 years ago as a new exhibition about reggae star opens in London. Arwa Hader explores how his music reverberated around the world. Okay, so of course the article continues over here. So let's read a little bit about this. Can you help me reading?
All the paragraph.
Yes, please.
In the first room of the new Bob Marley One Love experience at London's Saatchi Gallery, you're immediately hit by the Jamaican reggae megastar's extraordinary recording catalog with his band, the Wailers. Along the wall displays, one particular golden record slab radiates its own regal presence. The, the pivotal 10th album Exodus, 1977, created while Marley and his bandmates were living a short walk away from this Chelsea venue. Now, in its 45th year, it's a work of powerful transition, arguably confirming Marley's true global status and continually connected with new generation of listeners.
Okay, thank you, Rodrigo. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so yes, so Bob Marley One Love Experience, and we're talking about the 70s, and I'm pretty sure uh, I wasn't born yet. I'll tell you that much. I'm not that old, but what this first paragraph is telling us is giving us an introduction about Bob Marley and his band or the group, the Wailers. Okay, and before we continue, can you give me a summary of what we read in your own words? Can you tell me what you just read?
Um, it's talking about uh, the album of the Bob Marley albums uh, and what and how he connect with the population in that decade and uh, his for his way to connect with futures population too.
Yes. And if we look around this introduction, we can see a lot of grammar that we have discussed. Okay. For example, now in its 45th year, it's a word okay, and then we describe, okay, arguably confirming Marley's true global status and continually connecting with new generations of listeners. So we are using a column and also we are separating two expressions or statements so that we can convey the message of what this 45th year was about and how powerful uh, having this anniversary was towards the public in general. So we're giving ideas, okay? Let's continue. Bob Marley's Exodus, an album that defined the 20th century BBC culture, more like this. So again, we're having a column and they're giving us articles about Bob Marley's. Okay, so you can read about Exodus and you can also read these articles, which are pretty similar to what we're talking about, but different people, different topics. Okay, let's continue with the next paragraph. Can you help me, Rodrigo?
The spirit of Exodus is multi-layered. Its title track evokes the Old Testament tales of Moses leading his people to safety, and its parallels with Marley's Rastafarian faith. It also reflects Marley's own flight to London amid the brutal turbulence of Jamaica's elections. And in the wake of a December 1976 assassination attempt that wounded him and his wife, vocalist Rita Marley. He would spend more than a year in the UK capital, during which Exodus and its relatively breezy 1978 follow-up Kaya were created.
Okay, good. Thank you, Rodrigo. And again, multi-layered. So that means it has different structures and we're using a hyphen, right? And the hyphen words are followed by a semicolon. Its title track evokes the Old Testament tale of Moses leading his people to safety and its parallels with Marley's Rastafarian faith. Okay, again, we're using, but we're having a different use for the semicolon. Okay, so in this paragraph, what's happening? Can you summarize it?
Mm, in this case, uh, the document is talking about the why is the album Exodus. This date, he suffered an assassination attempt. uh, he and his wife, and uh, uh, maybe that's the reason for the creation of the Exodus. And he,
Yes, because he was prompted. He was forced to do something. Yes? Can you hear me, Rodrigo?
yes, teacher, no, yes.
Okay. Yes, you're right. He was forced, not forced, but I guess he had what we call the epiphany. And that's a deep insight that you realize that your life is in danger. You have to do something about it. Or he thought he was going to be a big influence through his music. He said, okay, I'm going to give a message. Of course, I want to become a messenger. I'll do it through my music, but I want to do a comparison. Okay, Exodus. And this is a really good topic, a very nice, elaborated comparison, in my opinion, right? Because I like his music. I'm not crazy about it, but yes, I like his music. And I know there's a lot of insight. And we have a lot of punctuation forms here, okay? Now we are using, for example, the parentheses. We haven't talked about parentheses, but there's a reason why they use parentheses. We're going to learn about parentheses in a later time, okay? Let's continue. Another very famous picture of him. Bob Marley wrote Exodus while in London, having fled an assassination attempt in Jamaica. So he was living in Jamaica when he was there was an attempt against his life, right? That's what the article is telling us. This did not happen in London. This happened in Jamaica during the elections, right? Okay, so let's see. Let's continue reading. Can you help me read?
Okay. Exodus was named the 20th century most important album by Time magazine, which highlighted it as a political and cultural nexus, drawing
Political.
inspiration from the Third World and then giving voice to it the world over. In the 21st century, the term Third World should be relegated to history, but this album's power certainly endures. Exodus songs infuse the One Love experience, including the uplifting and them that
Uplifting.
uplifting and them that lends this exhibition its name. When I visit Marley's daughter, creative artist and entrepreneur Sendela is giving the Saatchi Gallery an approving once over. Jonathan Shank, exhibition designer, is a visionary. She says, in every room you get a little bit of Bob and a bit of mommy, Rita Marley, and the children and grandchildren as well. Beyond its London run, this exhibition is on the move via Toronto.
Via Toronto.
Via Toronto.
Okay, good. So can we paraphrase what's going on here in this paragraph?
It says that Exodus is the most important album for the magazine Time, for the Time magazine, and this uh, um, this is forever, more or less.
Yes.
And after it is described a visit of his family of Bob Marley, and he described it.
Yes. And okay, so what about his daughter?
It says that he is a creative artist.
Okay.
she's giving uh, exhibition in such.
Yes. It says here that she's giving the Saatchi Gallery, which is the gallery that is showing Bob Marley's works, pictures, whatever. She is giving it what we call un visto bueno, no? Approving once over. Jonathan Chang is a designer. Okay, so that's why we have it in bracket. Just to make a pause. And that can change. We can only use commas. In this case, they wanted to use brackets. No problem. Okay, there's a reason why they use brackets. We can discuss that later. But focus in the quotation marks. We have a lot of quotation marks, right?
Yes.
Okay, so at this point, we're going to stop, Rodrigo. And I will give you this article so you can continue reading it. And we're going to do a short summary. And you will submit that short summary no later than Sunday. No, I'm sorry, Monday of next week. That short summary, I'm going to grade it. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna have to use your tools, what you learn about punctuation, what we just reviewed. Okay? You're going to use you're going to write about Bob Marley in this article, using this article as a reference. You're gonna use the information that you have and you're gonna try to quote. And like I said, use the tools that we learned in the past days. Okay. Any questions so far? I'll give you more details in a little bit, okay? But I'm just giving you a prompt so you can know what's going on, okay?
Okay, teacher.
Thank you, Rodrigo. Have a good night. Don't forget the survey. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, teacher. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. Hello, Adri.
Hi, teacher.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Awesome. We're going to talk about Bob Marley today.
Mm.
I'm not sure if you like his music or you have listened to his music. I'm a fan. I'm not crazy about it, but I know there's something behind his music, right? There's some messages, whatever it was, right? So the name of the article from BBC is Bob Marley's Exodus. And here is telling us the article, okay, column, an album that defined the 20th century, okay? And this is one of the most famous pictures from Bob Marley. Yeah, we know that.
Mm-hmm.
Arwa Hader, and this is a fairly new article. It was just created last month. So Bob Marley's album Exodus was released 45 years ago as a new exhibition about the reggae star opens in London. Arwa Hader expressed how his music reverberated around the world. Okay, so there's going to be a new exhibition about Bob Marley, maybe pictures, family albums, paintings, records, I don't know, many things, right? So let's see. Let's read a little bit about Bob Marley. Okay, can you help me read the first paragraph?
Yes, teacher. In the first room of the new Bob Marley One Love Experience at London's Saatchi Gallery, you are immediately hit by Jamaican reggae megastars' extraordinary recording catalog with his band, The Wailers, along the wall displays one particular golden record sleeve radius its own regal presence, the pivotal uh, 10th
10th album.
10 album Exodus 1977, created while Marley has his bandmates were living a short walk away from this Chelsea venue. Now in its 45th year,
Fifth, 45th.
45th year, it's a work of powerful transition, arguably confirming Marley's true global status and continually connecting with new generations of listeners.
Yes. Okay. And it says here, it's giving us a warning. Warning.
Burning.
The following
Oh.
article contains a strong language. We
Sí.
never know, right? Okay. So let's see. Before we continue, what did you understand from this paragraph? Tell me, what is your understanding in your own words?
Mm,
So we have here in blue, Bob Marley One Love Experience. In the first room of the new Bob Marley One Love Experience at London's Saatchi Gallery. Okay, so it's a gallery and the name of the gallery is Bob Marley One Love Experience. Okay, it's an exhibition. And they're showing recordings, a catalog of recordings with the band, the Wailers. Okay. What else? A golden sleeve,
sleep.
golden record sleeve. Mhm.
What is the meaning of sleep? Sleep.
Sleeve is like a manga, una manga. Golden record sleeve, yes. But in this case, it's describing como un disco de platino, pero es de oro.
Un disco.
Yes, a disc, a golden disc. In the form of a sleeve, en la forma de una manga. Okay, is describing it. Now, they're talking about Exodus, which is the 10th album released in 1977. And the album was created while
Band.
the band was living in Chelsea. Okay, in London, in the UK, right? And it says here, it's been 45 years and it's a very powerful work. And again, we have here columns, arguably confirming Marley's true global status and continually connecting with new generations of listeners. So we are using columns, and then after that, we're talking about a description or an opinion about what's happening, what has been happening after the release of the album Exodus. A small description, and we talked about this yesterday. No, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, when we talk about columns. Okay, so let's see now. Let's continue to the next one. And Bob Marley's Exodus, an album that defined the 20th century BBC culture. More like this. And he's telling us, we have again columns, and he's telling us that there's other options of articles similar to this one. Okay. And you can go here and check them out, read them, no problem. They're fairly similar to this album, but uh, not not necessarily talking about the same subject, but maybe they're describing a very famous singer or an artist in general. And let's continue to the second paragraph. The spirit of Exodus is multi-layered. Remember we talked about hyphens yesterday? De muchas capas, multi-layered. And then we have a semicolon. Its title track evokes the Old Testament tale of Moses leading his people to safety, and its parallels with Marley's Rastafarian faith. It also reflects Marley's own flight to London amid the brutal turbulence of Jamaica's elections, and in the wake of a December 1976 assassination attempt that wounded him and his wife, vocalist Rita Marley. Okay, so according to this article, why did he go to London? Why?
Because he wanted to record in the
He left Jamaica. It says here, flight to London amid the brutal turbulence of Jamaica's elections. And there was an assassination attempt against him. Trataron de matarlo. And they wounded him and his wife, vocalist Rita Marley. Okay. So they had to go live in the UK, where afterwards, him and his band wrote the album Exodus. Haciendo referencia when they left Jamaica, that it was the same thing that happened to Moses in the Old Testament. Aquí me. Okay. It's like a comparison. Okay. He would spend more than a year in the UK capital, during which Exodus and its relatively breezy 1978 follow-up Kaya were created. Okay, so right away they're telling us, okay, he left Jamaica to go live and stay in London or in the UK, and he wrote Exodus and Kaya, right? And this is
Sure.
can you hear me?
Ahora sí.
Okay. Something happened. I don't know what. ¿Dónde me escuchaste?
Hasta, hasta que puso ahí.
Aquí.
Ajá.
Okay. Can you help me read the next paragraph?
Bob Marley wrote paragraph. Exodus was named 20th century most important album by Time magazine, which hailed it out as a political and cultural nexus, drawing inspiration from the Third World and then giving voice to it the world over. In the 21st century, the term Third World should be relegated to history, but this album power certainly endures. Exodus songs infused the One Love experience, including the uplifting anthem that lends this exhibition its name. When I visit Marley Dogger, creative artist and entrepreneur, Cedella is giving the Saatchi Gallery an approving once over. Jonathan Shang, exhibition designer, is a visionary. She says, in every room you get a little bit of pop and a bit of mommy, Rita Marley, and the children and grandchildren as well. Because London ran this exhibition is on the move via Toronto.
Okay, good. So they're giving us more details about what's going on in this exhibition, right? It's not only about Bob Marley, it's about his family, his loved ones. And look at the variations in the vocabulary. Mommy no significa momia. Mommy is a mom in British, okay?
Mm.
So we have to be careful, and we have more hyphens and also columns. We have quotation marks, so on and so on. And we're going to have to stop here, Audrey, okay? I will give you the instructions. I will give you this article so you can continue reading, and I'll give you the instructions of what to do next, okay? Because we're going to write a short essay about this article, okay? Can you hear me, Audrey?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
teacher, vamos a escribir un artículo en la
En es-
clase o para la clase.
No, es para tarea.
Para tarea.
Ujú. Para
O
el
sea,
lunes. Para el lunes.
Ah, el lunes. Ah, ya.
Okay. I'll give you the
Yeah.
instructions, okay? Help me with the survey, okay, Audrey? And thank you so much for coming, for calling,
Yeah.
okay? Thank you.
Bye bye, teacher.
Bye-bye. Hello, writer. How are you?
Hello, teacher. I'm fine, thanks.
Hey, welcome. Hello, Joe. So, let's see. Hello. Joe, I believe these writers still his turn. Yes, it's his time. You're more than welcome to stay. If you want, I'll let you know. I believe we have time available. Puede ser después de las 7:45, please. Okay. So let's see, writer. So can you hear me?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, we're gonna talk about Bob Marley's album Exodus, an album that defined the 20th century. Okay, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this album, right? Or you don't like Bob Marley's music?
No, yes, teacher. I like.
Okay, good. So you're familiar with this picture, right? Yeah, it's
Yes.
one of the most famous pictures from him. Look at the title, and we're using a column already. Okay, so let's see. Let's read a little bit about it. So by Arwa Hader, and this is an article that was written last month. Bob Marley's album Exodus was released 45 years ago as an exhibition about the reggae star opens in London. Arwa Hader explores how his music reverberated around the world. Okay, so we're talking about an exhibition about reggae and Bob Marley. But let's read about this in the article. Can you help me read these paragraphs, please?
Okay, teacher. In the first room of the new Bob Marley One Love Experience at London's Saatchi Gallery, you're immediately hit by the Jamaican reggae megastar's extraordinary recording catalog with his band, the Wailers. Along the wall displays one particular golden record sleeve radiates its own regal presence. The pivotal 20th album Exodus, 1977.
10th, right?
10th.
10th.
Okay, 10th. Created while Marley and his bandmates were living a short walk away from this Chelsea venue. Now in its 45,
45th?
45th, okay, 45th year, it's a work of powerful transition. Arguably confirming Marley's true global status and continually connecting with new generations of listeners.
Okay, thank you, Ryder. So, in your own words, can you explain this first paragraph?
Okay, teacher.
What's going on in this paragraph?
Yes, in Spanish or English?
In English.
English. Okay.
Okay, what's going on? What is Bob Marley's One Love experience? What is your understanding?
Um, the paragraphs
That's the
talk,
gallery.
talk about of famous gallery of music.
Okay. Not necessarily music, writer. This is the name of the Saatchi Gallery, which is about Bob Marley, One Love Experience. And that's the name because it's an exhibition about him, right? And continue. What else? What else is going on here?
Oh, okay. One of the most important items is Bob Marley's gold record he created with his musicians.
Exactly. And where was the album Exodus written? Where? Where was it created? Was it in Jamaica or London?
In London, teacher.
Okay, it was in London.
Yeah.
And how old is this album?
45 years.
Correct. Okay, good job, sir. So, and we're going to read a little bit more about it, okay? Pay attention here, writer. We're using punctuation, a lot of punctuation. We have here a column, okay? We have another column here. And we are describing, we're giving the statements and separating our statements, okay, to describe. And in this case, this is a clause. We started with our statement and then we connected it with a clause. The second one, fairly similar, but we connect with what? With a conjunction, and we're going to talk about conjunctions tomorrow. But the reason behind reading an article is to be familiar with the punctuation and also practice our reading skills, okay? So let's continue. Warning, the following article contains strong language. Okay, let's continue then. Bob Marley's Exodus, an album that defined the 20th century in BBC culture. And we have examples of similar articles, right? Where we are going to find, I guess, information fairly similar to what we are talking about here in Bob Marley's. And see, you have a column to give you a list of different options. And then we have the next paragraph. Can you help me with the next paragraph, please? Help me read.
Yes, teacher. The spirit of Exodus is multi-layered. Its title tracks evokes the Old Testament tale of Moses lending his people to safety, and its parallels with Marley's Rastafarian faith. It also reflects Marley's flight to London. Amid the brutal turbulence of
Amid.
amid amid the brutal turbulence of Jamaica's elections, and in the wake of December 1976 assassination attempt that wounded him and his wife. Vocalist Rita Marley, he would spend more than a year in the UK capital, during which Exodus and its relatively breezy 1978 follow-up Kaya were created.
Okay, relatively
Relatively
breezy.
breezy.
Okay. It's an expression of saying that something is new. Breezy. Like fresh, como la brisa, ¿no? Briseado is fresh. It's making a comparison, okay? Nothing more. You're going to find a lot of these expressions in reading, okay? So don't worry. We just have to be familiar with them. Now, here we have in the beginning, I have here highlighted, for example, I have a hyphen compound expression, multi-layer, not expression, it's a description. What is multi-layer in your opinion? Multi-layer means that it has different structures. Okay. We talk about hyphens. I'm just showing you an example. And let's talk about why I highlighted the Old Testament, Tale of Moses. Why do you think they're talking about the Old Testament? Why? Are they? I know they're doing a comparison. What is the comparison? What happened? What happened to Bob Marley? Writer?
He makes a comparison with Moses, who leads his people to safety.
Okay, but it's a comparison of him living. Why did he leave? Why did he leave Jamaica? Why? What happened to him?
Sorry, teacher, I can't hear the question.
Okay. Yes. Why? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Why did he leave Jamaica? What happened?
Okay.
Why? Why did
Why,
he leave?
why they try to murder him and his wife?
Yes, that's correct. They tried to assassinate them, right? Him and his wife. So he fled, and he's making a comparison of him and his family living as an exodus. That's why he wrote this album with that name. Okay, good. And I believe time's up. And Camila is here. Hello. So, writer, I'm going to send you this article so you can continue reading. Okay. And I will give you the instructions of what's happening. You will have to write an essay, okay, in your own words about this article. What is this article about? But I'll give you more detailed instructions uh, today. Okay, I will give you the instructions today so that you can prepare. And this is going to be due on Monday. Okay, and this is for a grade. So first, I'll give you the article so you can read it, and then I'll give you the instructions, and you will have enough time to practice. Okay, and do your homework because you have homework to submit on Saturday. So you have more homework for Monday next week. Any questions?
No, teacher, everything is clear. Thanks.
Thank you, writer. Don't forget your survey. And I'll see you tomorrow.
See you, teacher.
Bye-bye. Hello, Camila.
Hello, teacher. Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome. And today, yes, you heard it. We're going to talk about Bob Marley. I don't know if you are familiar with his music or if you like his music.
Yeah, actually, I like some of its songs. So yeah.
Mhm. Good. Okay. So he hasn't been around for many years, but his music is still popular, right? And let's see, let's read the title. Bob Marley's Exodus, an album that defined the 20th century. But why? So let's see. And this is one of the most famous pictures from him, right? And we have here an introduction by our hater, 16th February 2022. So this is pretty much a recent article. Bob Marley's album Exodus was released 45 years ago as a new exhibition about the reggae star opens in London. Arwa Hader explores how his music reverberated around the world. Okay, so we're talking about an exhibition about this reggae star. And we have the beginning of the article. Sorry about all the writing, but let's read about it. Can you help me with the first paragraph?
Yeah, sure. In the first room of the new Bob Marley One Love experience at London's Saatchi Gallery, you are immediately hit by the Jamaican reggae Jamaican reggae megastars extraordinary recording catalog with his band, the Wailers. Along the wall displays, one particular golden record sleeve radiates its own regal presence, the pivotal 10th album, Exodus, 1977, created while Marley and his bandmates were living a short walk away from this Chelsea venue. Now is its 45th year. It's a work of powerful transition. Arguably confirming Marley's true global status and continually connecting with new generation of listeners.
Okay, so this is a fairly nice introduction, and he's telling us why they're doing this exhibition. So before we continue, how old is this album, Exodus?
45 years old.
Yes, that's what the introduction is telling us, right? And what is the name of the Saatchi Gallery?
Of the what? Excuse me, teacher.
The Saatchi Gallery.
Mm, it was the name of the where is the Bob Marley experience
Yes,
exhibition.
is the name of it. Yes, the Saatchi Gallery has a name, and it's called Bob Marley's One Love Experience, and it's in London, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and let's see. It's telling us that the Exodus album was the 10th album, right?
Yes.
And we also are learning that it was created in London.
Near to Chelsea.
Yes, Chelsea is the UK. So it's telling us that it was created in London, in the UK. So there's a reason behind. And before we continue to the next paragraph, notice that we have a lot of punctuations. Here we have a column. We have another one over here. Okay, so we have two different types of usage of columns. Okay, let's continue. Warning, the following article contains strong language. Okay, and before we get deeper into details, Bob Marley's Exodus, an album that defined the 20th century, and what BBC is telling us that you can find similar articles, not necessarily describing the same topics from Bob Marley's uh, Exodus album, so on and so on, but relatively similar. And we have three examples, right? And that's why we have a column, because we have a list. And then we continue with what is there to talk about the article, the next paragraph. Can you help me with the reading, Camila?
The spirit of Exodus is multi-layered. Its title tract evokes the Old Testament tale of Moses leading his people to safety, and its parallels with Marley's Rastafarian faith. It also reflects Marley's own flight to London amid the brutal turbulence of Jamaica's election and in the wake of a December 1976 assassination attempt that wounded him and his wife, vocalist Rita Marley. He would spend more than a year in the UK capital, during which Exodus and his relatively breezy 1978 follow-up, Kaya, were created.
Okay, good. So what happened in December 1976?
It was an attempt of assassination.
Against him and his wife, right?
Mhm.
And where did this happen? And why?
I think that in Jamaica during the elections.
Yes. Okay. And maybe he was doing something, right? and they attempted against him. And that's the reason why he left Jamaica and he went to go live in London, where he afterwards started working with his band and they created Exodus. And why is the album called Exodus?
Like in the Old Testament, tell Moses leading the people, he was trying to lead the people with the Rastafarian faith.
Yes, that's correct. So he made a very strong comparison, right?
Mhm.
Good. Notice that we are talking about a hyphens here, multi-layer, and we hyphened these words. and then we follow with a semicolon, and then we talk about the Old Testament, Moses. Okay. And was Exodus the only album that followed, or was there another album?
After Exodus, he created Kaya,
That's
also
correct.
in the UK.
In the UK. Correct. Awesome. Any questions about this paragraph?
No, teacher.
No? And this is another picture, okay, of him. Yes, we're familiar with this picture. Bob Marley wrote Exodus while in London, having fled an assassination attempt in Jamaica. And let's see, can you help me read?
Exodus was named the 20th century most important album by the Time magazine, which hailed it as a political and cultural nexus, drawing inspiration from the Third World and then giving voice to it the world over. In the 21st century, the term Third World should be relegated to history, but this album's power centrally endures. Exodus songs infuse the One Love history, but this album's power, One Love experience, including the upfilling attempt that leads this exhibition its name. When I visit Marley's daughter, creative artist and entrepreneur Cedella, is giving the Saatchi Gallery and approving once over. Jonathan Shank, exhibition designer, is a visionary. She says, in every room you get a little bit of Bob and a bit of Mommy, Rita Marley, and the children and grandchildren as well. Beyond its London run, the exhibition is on the move via Toronto.
Okay, so in your own words, can you describe the meaning, not the meaning, but a summary from this paragraph? Could you summarize it in your own words? What's going on?
Well, they are talking about that this album is one of the most important in the 20th centuries, and it also have an interview with the daughter of Bob Marley, and he said that the designer of the exhibition is a visionary, and you can see a part of his dad and his mom in every part of this exhibition.
Yes, it's not necessarily about him. It's about his family, right? And they're also in the beginning of the paragraph talking about the importance of this album. And they're making some quotes about it, right? And probably these quotes were given many years ago, a political and cultural nexus, drawing inspiration from the third world, and then giving voice to it the world over. And yes, they call it the third world. Maybe there's a reason behind it, but they're describing it. Should be relegated to history. Okay. So again, uh, there's a reason why in this album they're making a lot of emphasis about the name of the album, because it was not only a hit musically, but it was also very popular because the message that it was conveying. And that's what the whole paragraph is telling us. And we are going to stop here. Actually, it's Toronto, Vancouver, LA, Chicago, New York City, Miami, Amsterdam, Seoul, Tel Aviv, Tokyo, Kingston, Jamaica, and Marley's reach is planet wide. Again, we have a hyphen. Okay, so what we're going to do next, I'm going to stop here, Camila, is that we're going to write an essay about this article. And I will give you the instructions. But first, I'll give you the article so you can read it, so that you can get familiar with it. And then I'll tell you, okay, you're going to write about these. And uh, I'll give you the instructions, okay? I'll just give you a heads up. and it's going to be submitted on Monday, okay?
Okay, teacher.
Okay, and do you have any questions before we leave?
No, everything is clear, teacher.
Okay, so I'll give you the instructions because I don't want to bore you right now with instructions. And the main purpose of this call was to talk about this an article and read and practice our punctuation. So thank you so much for the call, Camila, and don't forget to complete your survey, please.
I don't see it. Okay, I mean, do it right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, Joe.
Hello, teacher. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, teacher.
Awesome. Okay. Sorry about the misunderstanding a while ago. And let's see. So today we're going to talk about an article that I have prepared. So it's called Bob Marley's Exodus, an album that defined the 20th century. Are you familiar with Bob Marley, Joe?
A little bit, teacher.
A little bit. Okay. So it's reggae, right? He sings. His music style, his genre is reggae. And this is one of the most popular pictures from him. Let's read about this article. So it's by Arwa Hader. This article was written last month. Bob Marley's album Exodus was released 45 years ago as a new exhibition about the reggae star opens in London. Arwa Hader explores how his music reverberated around the world. Okay. So the album was released 45 years ago, so it's been around. Okay. Let's read a little bit about it. This is the first paragraph. Can you help me reading, Joe?
Okay. Mm, uh, all, all the phrase, teacher. Oh,
Yes, all the paragraph. Todo el párrafo.
okay. Oh, paragraph. Okay. In the first room, in the first room of the new Bob Marley One Love Experience at London's City Gallery, you're immediately hit by the Jamaica reggae mega star extraordinary recording catalog with his band. The Wailers along the wall display one particular gold record slaves repeats its regal presence. The pivotal 10th album Exodus.
Exodus.
Okay, Exodus 19 okay, 77.
1977, yes.
Okay. Create while Marley and these bandmates were living a short walk away from this Chelsea venue. Now in its 45 years, it's a work of powerful transition are what configure Marley to global status and conditionally connecting with new generation of listeners. Warning, the following article contains strong language.
Okay. Yes. So, how old is this album, Joe? How old is the album?
Okay.
Si es su 45 aniversario, so how old is the album?
Oh, correct.
45 years, right?
Yes.
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 Okay. And we're talking about an exhibition right here. New exhibition. And the exhibition is in the Saatchi Gallery. That's the name of it, Saatchi Gallery. And what's the name of the gallery? What's the name of the, okay, we know it's the Saatchi Gallery, but the Saatchi Gallery has an exhibition. What's the name of the exhibition? The name of the exhibition is called Bob Marley One Love Experience. Okay. Notice that we have punctuation marks that we have discussed in the past. Okay. We have column here and we have a column here. Different situations, but we are separating statements with comma and then we have a conjunction. La conjunction se llama and. Or we have just two statements. Okay. A follow-up statement which we call a clause, and so on. And also we have here a warning, and then we have a column. The following article contains a strong language. So pretty much this article, we read it so that we can know that we use punctuation in different forms in any type of article, okay? Let's continue. Bob Marley's Exodus, an album that defined the 20th century. And we have a list of different articles similar to this one. So we have three options. And again, we have a column. We have the next paragraph. Can you help me read the next paragraph, Joe?
Okay. The spirit of Exodus is multiplied. It's a little track walks the Old Testament, a tale of Moses living is people of Safely. Okay. In this parallels with Marley Ras, mm, Rastafarian, but it also reflects Merlin of flying to London amid the brutal turbulence of Jamaica's electronic, and in the wake of December 1876 okay. Assassination attempt that wounded him and his wife, vocalist Rita Marley. He would spend more than a year in the UK capital, during which Exodus and its relative breeze 1878 follow up Kenya were created.
Yes, thank you, Joe. Okay, so why did Bob Marley leave Jamaica? Why? Why did he leave Jamaica? Because there was assassination attempt against him and his wife. Trataron de asesinarlos. Him and his wife. So they left Jamaica and they moved to London. Okay. And then in London, they wrote him and his band, the Wailers, they wrote Exodus. Exodus making a reference to the Old Testament tale of Moses. Okay. Because he's making a comparison of the tale of Moses leading his people to safety and Marley's Rastafarian faith. Notice that in this paragraph, we are using hyphens. We talked about hyphens yesterday, remember? Multi-layer. You're connecting two words to make one. Multi-layer. Multistructura. Multi-layer. Almost like in Spanish. Okay. Any questions about this paragraph, Joe? No?
No.
Okay. So I will give you this article, Joe. We're gonna stop here. I'll give you the article so that you can practice at home and you're going to have homework, okay? I'll give you the homework. I'll give you the instructions and you will have to write an essay about this article. But I'll give you the instructions later, okay? And before you go, Joe, can you help me with the survey?
Okay, I completed the survey, teacher.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Then I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.
Okay, see you, teacher.
Bye-bye. Hey, Mauricio, how are you?
Hey, teacher. Everything's okay, thank you.
Hey, that's good. That's good news. It's Thursday, so Friday is very close. Are you familiar with Bob Marley, Mauricio?
Just a little, teacher. I have heard some some songs, and I know just a little.
But you know who he is, right?
Ah, yes, yes,
Okay,
I know.
awesome. So we're going to talk about a little bit about him. Bob Marley's Exodus. We have a column, an album that defined the 20th century. Okay, so we have a picture of Bob Marley, and we have here the introduction by Arwa Hader, 16th February 2022. So this was written last month. Bob Marley's album Exodus was released 45 years ago as a new exhibition about the reggae star opens in London. Arwa Hader explores how his music reverberated around the world. Okay, so they're going to have many things about him, but let's read about it. And we have the beginning of this article. Can you help me read?
Sure. In the first room of the new Bob Marley One Love Experience at London's Saatchi Gallery, you're immediately hit by the Jamaican reggae mega stars extraordinary recording catalog with his band, the Wailers. Along the wall displays, one particular golden record slip uh, radiates its own regal presence. The pivotal 10th album Exodus in 1977, created while Marley and his bandmates were living a short walk away from this Chelsea venue. Now, in its 45th year, it's a work of powerful transition, arguably confirming Marley's true global status and continually connecting with new generations of listeners.
Okay. So, how old is the Exodus album? What is it?
45 years old.
Yes. Okay. So they talk about the Saatchi Gallery. The Saatchi Gallery, and they have an exhibition. What is the name of the exhibition?
Mm, the name of the exhibition. Ah, Bob Marley One Love Experience.
That's correct. Okay. And notice that in this paragraph, we have a lot of punctuation. In this case, look at the columns. Okay. We started columns, and we have statements, we have clauses, we have conjunctions. And we talk about how to use columns and the different types of examples. We're not going to get in a lot of details about this so that we can continue with the reading. And again, warning, the following article contains strong language. Bob Marley's Exodus, an album that defined the 20th century. BBC Culture. Now, BBC is telling us you can find more articles similar to this one if you like that, and it gives us a list. This is another use of a column to give a list, remember? And that's it. And then we go into the second paragraph. Can you help me read the second paragraph?
Sure, teacher. The spirit of Exodus is multi-layered. Its title track evokes the Old Testament tale of Moses leading his people to safety, and its parallel parallels with Marley's Rastafarian faith. It also reflects Marley's own flight to London. I did-
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Yes, Marley's own flight to London amid the brutal turbulence of Jamaica's elections and in the wake of a December 1976 as assassination
Assassination.
assassination attempt that uh, wounded him and his wife, vocalist Rita Marley. He would spend more than a year in the UK capital, during which Exodus and its rally, rally, relatively breezy 1978 follow-up Kaya were created.
Hello, Rodrigo. Mauricio, I'm sorry. I'm back. I'm using my phone, so uh, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, something's
No
happening. I don't know.
problem, teacher.
Okay, so let's continue. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, so I know you completed reading. Okay, so let's see. The assassination attempt, and why was the album named Exodus?
I think because of the Jamaica selections.
Okay, that was one of the reasons why, but something happened during the Jamaica selections. What happened during the Jamaica selections? ¿Qué pasó?
Um,
There was an assassination attempt
yes, an
a- a-
assassination attempt.
against Bob Marley and his wife, right?
Oh yes, against his wife, Rita Marley.
Yes. Okay. And that's why they left Jamaica and they went to go live in London, where they wrote the album, right? Exodus. That's where they
Yes.
wrote it. And notice here that we are using hyphens, multi-layer, okay? And we talked about hyphens yesterday because you are connecting two words and making it one. Multi-layer, multicapas, multi-etapas, si puedes llamar así. Multi-layer. And how many albums he wrote in London? It was
Mm,
Exodus and what else?
I think there was two, Exodus and Kaya.
Yes, good job, sir. Okay, Exodus and Kaya. Good. And let's continue. Bob Marley wrote Exodus while in London, having fled an assassination attempt in Jamaica. Okay, so let's see. Can we read the rest of the paragraph, please?
Okay. Exodus was named in 20th century's most important album by Time magazine, which hailed it as a political and cultural nexus, drawing inspiration from the world and then giving voice to it the world over. In the 21st century, 21st century, the term third world should be relegated to history, but this album's power certainly endures. Exodus songs infuse the One Love experience, including the uplifting anthem that lends this exhibition its name. When I visit Marley's daughter, creative artist and entrepreneur Cedella is giving the Saatchi Gallery an approving once over. Jonathan Shank, exhibition designer, is a visionary. She says, in every room you get a little bit of Bob and bit of Mammy, Rita Marley, and the children and uh, around children as well. Beyond its London run, this exhibition is on the movie via Toronto.
Move on the move via Toronto,
Oh yes, on the move via Toronto.
Vancouver, LA,
Ah,
Chicago,
Vancouver, LA, Chicago, New York City, Miami, Amsterdam, Seoul, Tel Aviv, Tokyo, and Kingston. Jamaica, Marley's reach is planet-wide.
Yes, that's correct. And notice here, okay, we have a lot of quotation marks here, okay, and here we closed. We have another one over here. These quotations.
I can see the screen, teacher.
No.
No.
Now.
Not yet.
Okay. Let me stop sharing. Tampoco, ¿eh? Not yet.
Oh no, now it's here.
Okay. Notice, for example, I have quotation marks and I'm talking about third world. That means this is a word that comes from a longer title, right? And I'm quoting something that was written. We talked about quotation marks yesterday, and I have another one right here. A political and cultural nexus, drawing inspiration from the third world and then giving voice to it the world over. Okay? And I have many more quotes. For example, here, and it finishes over here. Says he, she says, I'm sorry, she says, and then we finish the statement with a period, and then we start with a quote again, right here. And then we complete again with another quote. So we have a lot of examples of quotes here, quotation marks. Okay, so we are using references from other sources to talk about the Exodus album. And also, we're talking about what other articles or news around the world said about the album when it was released at the time, right?
Yes.
So yes, and we're going to stop here. Remember, Mauricio, I will give you these articles so you can continue reading it, and you will have a homework. You will have to write an essay, a short essay, but I will give you the instructions, how many paragraphs, and what you're going to talk about, okay?
Okay.
This is going to be due next Monday because you have homework for Saturday. So now you will have homework for Monday and you will have to submit it for a grade, okay?
Okay, teacher.
And thank you so much. And thank you for your patience. Mauricio, have a good night. And please don't forget your survey, okay?
Oh, okay, teacher. Teacher, I have a quick question for you.
Yes.
In the yesterday class, you said that we have to send the I think the
quizzes?
homework.
Yes.
Yes. And do we have to do all the quizzes that you sent or will send about yesterday? Or
No,
there is...
only the ones that I gave you in PDF.
Oh, okay.
Yes, only those. Is columns, semicolons, and commas. That's it.
Oh, okay, teacher.
Okay.
That was my question.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Okay, teacher, I did the survey.
Thank you. Thank you,
Bye
Mauricio.
bye, teacher.
Have a good night. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.